Hi guys, I'm Fernando Alberti and I teach entrepreneurship in the Master Program in Business Design. The course of entrepreneurship in Master Program in Business Design, you're gonna learn a lot of things if you are a young business designer. First of all, the thing that you're gonna learn is how to spot entrepreneurial opportunities and what they are, where they might be located, either if you are consulting and advising startuppers or if you're advising consolidated firms. The other thing that you might learn is how to assess those, which are the ways to evaluate a good entrepreneurial opportunity, and especially how to leverage that entrepreneurial opportunity to design a successful business model. And finally, the other important thing is to understand entrepreneurs, either at the individual level or at the corporate level. So which are their traits, which are their capabilities, which are their competencies, and how to set a proper organizational environment that might facilitate entrepreneurship at the corporate level. Of course, the core of the things that you're gonna learn during the course is to focus on business modeling. So business modeling is very much crucial to the course of entrepreneurship for the Master in Business Design. You might be familiar with the fact that Alex Osterwalder defined business model as the way to create, to deliver, and to capture value. So we're gonna focus on value very much, and you're gonna understand how to assess that value, how to exploit that value, and more specifically, how to continuously redesign and fine-tune a business model in order to create and to generate more value, especially defending that business model from the possible disruption that might be around. For a business designer, entrepreneurship is a kind of a core competence. Why we're talking about entrepreneurship? Because we're living what Daniel Eisenberg called the entrepreneurial revolution. What I mean by that? I mean the fact that since 1980, 95% of the wealth that was created in the United States was totally reinvented. So it's like, United States made a sort of reboot of their system. If we go back in time, 1984 was the time where IBM was dominated the computer business with 70% of market share, and Michael Dell didn't start their business. So the idea is that we want to catch the speed and the impact of this entrepreneurial revolution. Several industries have changed in time. Forbes just released a study where they showed that in 1917 we were living an industrialist era. So we were living an era where companies like US Steel, DuPont, US Rubber were dominating the market. And then after 50 years, we moved to the hardware era. We're talking about totally different companies. I'm talking about IBM, AT&T, Kodak, Polaroid, and then 50 years again later, 2017, we are in the platform era. So we have Apple, Alphabet, Amazon, Facebook, Google. So all those who are actually playing right now. The entrepreneurial field also went through a sort of democratization of entrepreneurship. If you think about like Chris Anderson regarding the maker movement, so I'm thinking about 3D printers, laser cut, Arduino-based technologies. This is something that allowed everyone to become entrepreneurs. So what is entrepreneurship? How we might define entrepreneurship? Well, there is a definition of entrepreneurship by a famous guy who is Scott Shane, who says that entrepreneurship is the rationale that brings new goods and new services to the market through two main processes that are the spotting of entrepreneurial opportunities and the exploitation of entrepreneurial opportunities. And you might be familiar that in between those there is also a third stage, which is the evaluation of entrepreneurial opportunities. Think about, for instance, the business plan, the business pitch, so all those things that are actually meant to assess the goodness of an entrepreneurial opportunity. I'm very much with Oscar Wilde in defining what an entrepreneurial opportunity is. He says that a grapefruit is a lemon that took a chance and exploited it. So, well, I'm a lemon, but a little bit pink and I smell different. Could it be a problem to me, or is that an opportunity? Well, entrepreneurial opportunities are like that. Are something that you might consider either a problem to someone or a good opportunity to someone else. Well, actually, entrepreneurial opportunities are all over the places. So the point is that business designers should know more how to spot them around. They might come from unexpected sources, unexpected event, like I think you're familiar with the 3M experience with the Post-it. They might come from some kind of mismatch in the market or some kind of renovation of a process need, or even come from a change in the industry. If you think about the adventure of the Cirque du Soleil, that's definitely the melting of many different industries. The circus on one side, the drama, the ballet, but also the musical to some extent. So entrepreneurial opportunities are all over the places. They change the environment. They might be catched by someone. If they are exploited by someone, they change the environment again. So it's a kind of continuous snowball effect that is going on around all of us. And then the other important component in entrepreneurship is the role of entrepreneurs. So who are entrepreneurs? Are they born like entrepreneurs, or we might teach entrepreneurship? That was a very big debate for many years, and now we know that entrepreneurship is like a discipline, so we might teach entrepreneurship. Of course, it's like teaching art. You might learn how to paint, but maybe this doesn't make you to be Picasso. And this is where business design comes in, because business designers typically move through a process where you start experimenting, learning, measuring, and then changing again the typical approach of designer applied to the entrepreneurial field. So being an entrepreneur is something that might be a sort of game changer, no? Of course, even if you have a bad idea, you might start embracing your bad idea and continuously refining that. So through the course, what we do is that we move through the analysis of what entrepreneurial opportunities are about, which are their traits, but also the figure of entrepreneurs. So how they behave, which are their actions, how we might understand if someone is an entrepreneur or is behaving like a good entrepreneur. But the other important thing that we're talking about in the course of entrepreneurship is how to move those lenses from the individual to the corporation, so to organizations. So what makes organization entrepreneurial organizations? What makes an organization to be a corporate entrepreneurship-oriented organization? So that's another big topic, and we know that there are at least 4 models of being a corporate entrepreneurship-oriented organization. One of those is corporate venturing, so creation of new ventures external to the business, like it happens in Samsung, for instance. Another one could be to be an entrepreneur, so to employ entrepreneurs inside your organization, like it happens in Pixar, for instance. Or you might go for some kind of form where you bring inside the rules of the market and you go for special projects and special initiatives, like it happens in Google, for instance. And finally, it might be the case that you are a big, large, traditional corporation, but you want still to combine a traditional management with a more entrepreneurial profile, and so you behave like 3M, no? Combining a sort of ambidextrity inside your organization. So there are different ways how business designers might also advise and consult firms about how to behave in a more entrepreneurial way. And this is very much connected with 2 other topics that we are discussing in the course of entrepreneurship. One of those is innovation, and specifically we discuss about open and collaborative innovation. So cases like OpenIDEO, for instance, or Lego are definitely very much inspiring us on how to connect with external partners and start having an innovation which is not closed inside the boundaries of your organization in the typical R&D function. And the other topic that is connected to that is the topic of disruptive innovation. I think this is a word that we always hear around, and we understand that disruption is something that is very much pervasive nowadays. So consider cases like Airbnb, for instance, in the hospitality industry, or consider cases like Uber that we discuss in the course, in the taxi industry. This is definitely one of those examples that we might take to learn how to design a business model that is a disruptive business model. And business model is actually the core of the course of entrepreneurship. So we start understanding what a business model is about. We take the famous business model canvas by Alex Osterwalder, and we start from that definition, thinking that a business model is not just the creation of value, but it's also the delivery of value and also the capture of value. So value is the core, and we try to associate value with opportunities, and we actually have a formula in the course, which is value is opportunities, but it's also the jobs to be done that we want a product or a service to be employed for a specific function, minus the problem that you might go through in using that specific product or service, plus the expectation that all of our clients might have. And we try to understand how the jobs to be done paradigm that was popularized by Clayton Christensen at Harvard Business School might help business designers to think about all those elements of value that they might reach in order to design a very successful business model. Finally, in the course, we discuss about the topic of creativity, how creativity is connected with innovation, how creativity is connected to entrepreneurship, how to set a very creative space inside the organization. And for that specific case, we moved to the metaphor of a kitchen, and we specifically discussed a case which is a super famous and sexy case. It's the case of El Bulli in the restaurant business. It was a kind of a famous restaurant in Spain. And specifically, we try to understand how organizing a kitchen could be a good way to understand how to orchestrate creativity for the sake of innovation and for the sake of entrepreneurship. So the course is very much full of content, but it's also very much heterogeneous in terms of tools that we use. We move through self-assessment tools. So for instance, we try to assess the entrepreneurial traits and entrepreneurial characteristics of all the participants. We use case discussion. It's a very case-based method. This course, we use live simulations, and then we use also the boards. We divide classes in teams, and we make those teams competing and challenging one against each other, also to enter more and better into the culture of entrepreneurship. Those competences that we learn inside the course of entrepreneurship in the master program in business design are very much applicable to many different things that might happen inside Domus Academy. First of all, you might apply those to the Entrepreneurship Through Design workshop, which is a workshop that we typically run to work on your specific entrepreneurial idea, run your startup, or developing a business model from scratch. But you might also apply to other workshops that we typically run with firms. I'm thinking about what we did recently. We worked on the pandemic as a topic. More specifically, we work on the food retail industry after the pandemic. So we developed several business models that are very much disruptive to capture the possibility that we might consider redesigning the food retail industry after the pandemic. We apply those to new initiatives, but we also apply those to corporate setting, like for instance in Starbucks or in Deliveroo. You might apply the competencies that we learn in the course also to your final master program, of course. In most of the cases, the final dissertation is something that refers to your own idea, your own specific project that you want to follow up after the master. Or finally, you might apply those competencies back home to your family business. There are several students that they have a family business, and when they're back home, through the course of entrepreneurship, they are able to redesign their own family business and to apply new lenses to an old business and maybe go for a diversification or to move on adjacent businesses. I think that this, in a way, it's a sort of argument that you might consider in going for the course of entrepreneurship inside your master program in business design. Thank you.